Good morning, students. Last time we had stopped up to feeding and digestion in amoeba, right? We had finished up to 2.4. Now let us read further. Amoeba is a microscopic single celled organism found in pond water, right? It is a microscopic single celled. Single cell मतलब एक ही सेल का होता है. Amoeba has a cell membrane, a rounded dense nucleus, and many small bubble like vacuoles. Vacuoles are small bubbles inside the cell. They are called vacuoles. It has got a conspicuous nucleus and cytoplasm and a cell membrane. Okay, further, vacuoles in its cytoplasm. Amoeba constantly changes its shape and position. It pushes out one or more finger-like projections called the pseudopodia or false feet for movement and capture of food. What are they called? False feet. See, it keeps on moving like this, and this false feet which it emerges from its body to capture the prey or to move are called pseudopodia. It captures its prey or food with the help of this pseudopodia in the form of a vacuole. A vacuole is created. यहाँ पे एक बबल लाइक स्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट हो जाता है, ये दोनों जॉइन हो जाएगा ऐसे, एंड देन दिस फूड पार्टिकल इज डाइजेस्टेड हियर itself in the vacuole. Now just go through the diagram. It is the nucleus, then this is the pseudopodium which is coming out from its body to engulf the food particle. This is the food particle, and ingestion is happening. It is engulfing that food particle through its pseudopodia, and these are the food vacuoles which are created in its body. The digestion of that food particle happens in the food vacuole itself, and it is then excreted. The undigested food is then excreted from the back portion of the cell, right? So this is the way in which the amoeba takes in its food. Amoeba feeds on some microscopic organisms. When it senses food, it pushes out pseudopodia around the food particle and engulfs it. Underline all this, how it is doing. What is the process? It is pushing out the pseudopodia, that is the false feet, and engulfs the food particle in it. The food becomes trapped in a food vacuole. That is called a food vacuole. A bubble-like structure is created after the pseudopodia join from both the ends. Digestive juices are secreted into the food vacuole. They act on the food and break it down into simpler substances. Gradually, the digested food is absorbed. The absorbed substances are used for growth, maintenance, and multiplication. The undigested residue of the food is expelled outside by a vacuole. Again, the undigested food is expelled outside the body with the help of a vacuole only. The basic processes of digestion of food and release of energy is the same in all animals. In a later chapter, you will learn about the transport of food absorbed by intestine to the various parts of the body, right? So this is the digestion in unicellular organisms like amoeba. What we have studied, the digestive system here in human beings as well as ruminants like cow, goat, buffalo. They are called ruminants because they have two-chambered stomach. The first chamber is called rumen, wherein they take the food, and that directly goes into that rumen, from where they bring it back to their mouth, they chew it, and then it goes back to their stomach, right? That is called chewing of cud or rumination. This process is also called rumination, and these animals are called ruminants. Okay, now what we have studied, the keywords in this lesson are, just write down these words one time in your notebook. Absorption, amino acids. Amino acids are the integral smaller parts of proteins. What is amoeba? Amoeba is a unicellular organism. Assimilation means the absorption of food particles through your small intestine. That is called assimilation. Bile. What is bile? Bile is the juice, digestive juice secreted by the liver, which is stored in the gallbladder. It is called bile. Buccal cavity. Buccal cavity is your mouth cavity wherein the food is taken first and chewed with the mixing with saliva. Then canine. Canine are the type of teeth, the pointed teeth, which are called canines. Then cellulose. Cellulose is a complex form of sugar which is produced by plants. Digestion, egestion, these are all processes of digestion. Fatty acids. What are fatty acids? They are integral parts of fats. Fats, when broken down in smaller parts, they form fatty acids and glycerol. Then food vacuole. Food vacuole is what? The bubble like structure which is being created to digest food in unicellular organisms like amoeba, that is called food vacuole. Then gallbladder is attached to the liver wherein the bile juice is stored. Glycerol, fatty acid and glycerol are two parts of fats when broken down. Incisors are again a type of teeth. The front four teeth of your lower and upper jaw are incisors. Ingestion is taking in food. Liver is the largest gland in your stomach, in your body. Then milk teeth. You know what are milk teeth? The early teeth in your childhood which you have, they are called milk teeth. Molars, permanent teeth. Molars are the cutting or chewing teeth which you have at the back side of your jaw. Then permanent teeth are the teeth which you have after the milk teeth fall away. Then esophagus. Esophagus is your food pipe. Then pancreas. Pancreas is the gland which secretes insulin, which helps you in the breaking down of sugars. Premolars and molars are both cutting and chewing teeth. Pseudopodia are the finger-like projections which amoeba creates to engulf the food. Rumen is the first part of the stomach of ruminants which chew the cud, right? Ruminants, you know what are ruminants. We have already done the definition. Rumination is the process by which the ruminants chew the food, which is called the cud. Salivary glands, they are present under your tongue, which help to digest starch in your mouth. Villi. Villi are the finger-like projections in your intestine, which increase the surface area for assimilation of food. And saliva. Saliva is the salivary juice which is secreted by salivary glands, which mix up with your food in your mouth and help in breaking of starch. These are all keywords to write down once in your notebook. Now what have you learned? Animal in nutrition includes nutrient requirement, mode of intake of food and utilization in its body. The human digestive system consists of alimentary canal and the secretory glands. It consists of the buccal cavity, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and ending in rectum and anus. The main digestive glands which secrete digestive juices are salivary glands, the liver, and the pancreas. The stomach wall and the wall of small intestine also secrete digestive juices. The modes of feeding vary in different organisms. Nutrition is a complex process involving ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. Write down all these important points because they just help you to brush up the lesson what we have studied in that. Then next one, digestion of carbohydrates like starch begins in the buccal cavity, that is your mouth. The digestion of protein starts in the stomach. The bile secreted from the liver, the pancreatic juice from the pancreas, and the digestive juice from the intestinal wall complete the digestion of all components of food in the small intestine. This is also very important. The digestion is completely completed in your small intestine, and when the food passes, the undigested food passes into the large intestine, only absorption of water is left out. The digested food is absorbed in the blood vessels from the small intestine. The absorbed substances are transported to different parts of the body. Water and some salts are absorbed from the undigested food in the large intestine. This is also important. The undigested and unabsorbed residues are expelled out of the body as feces through the anus. The grazing animals like cows, buffaloes, and deer are known as ruminants. They quickly ingest, swallow their leafy food and store in the rumen. Later, the food returns to the mouth and the animal chews it peacefully. Amoeba ingests its food with the help of its false feet or pseudopodia. The food is digested in the food vacuole. All these points are very important. That is what we have studied in the entire lesson. Now let us move on to the exercises. These exercises are mostly given in your workbook also. Still we'll solve some questions which are not given in the workbook. I will share the answers with you written on a separate piece of paper, right? I will share the photographs of this so that you can complete it in your textbook itself, and workbook also I will share. This is the diagram which you have to label. You have to practice this diagram of digestive system and learn labeling it, so that in case if it is asked in the exam, you should be able to write it, draw it properly, as well as label it properly. Now slowly and slowly, in the workbook also, workbook questions as well as this textbook questions, I will be sharing the photographs of them so that you can complete it in your textbook. Now we'll move on to the lesson 3, that is fiber to fabric. Let us read. In class 6th, you have learnt about some fibers obtained from plants. You also learned that wool and silk fibers are obtained from animals. Wool and silk is obtained from animals because wool is obtained from sheep and silk from silkworms. Some natural fibers include the cotton clothes that we wear are obtained from cotton, which is grown as a plant. Wool is obtained from the fleece or hair of sheep or yak. Fleece को underline करो, that is the hair of sheep or yak. Silk fibers come from cocoons of the silk moth. Silk moths spin the cocoons around their bodies, and those cocoons are put or boiled into water, on account of which the silk moths inside die, and those cocoons are used to generate the silk cloth. Do you know which part of the sheep's body yields fibers? Are you aware how these fibers are converted into the woolen yarn that we buy from the market to knit sweaters? Do you have any idea how silk fibers are made into silk, which is woven into saris? In this chapter, we shall try to find answers to these questions. Now first, animal fibers, wool and silk. Number 1, wool. Wool comes from sheep, goat, yak and some other animals. These wool yielding animals bear hair on their body. Do you know why these animals have a thick coat of hair? Hair traps a lot of air. Actually, they protect the animal to stay warm in the times of winter or extreme cold, because this is found only in those animals which are staying in cold environments. Air is a poor conductor of heat, as you would learn in chapter 4. So hair keeps these animals warm. Wool is derived from these hairy fibers. Now activity 3.1. Feel the hair on your body and arms and those on your head. Do you find any difference? Which one seems coarse and which one is soft? Like us, the hairy skin of the sheep has 2 types of fibers that form these fleece. Number 1, the coarse beard hair, and the fine soft under hair close to the skin, right? There are 2 layers of hair which are present in the sheep's coat of skin, right? So the under hair which are inside the main strands of hair, they are very warm. They help to trap hot air inside or the warmth of your body, and these are used to generate the wool. The fine hair provide the fibers for making wool. Some breeds of sheep possess only fine under hair. Their parents are especially chosen to give birth to sheep which have only soft under hair. This process of selecting parents for obtaining special characters in their offspring, such as soft under hair in sheep, is termed as selective breeding. Those sheep which give you soft under hair are selectively breeded in greater quantities to have more and more sheep which will yield you that type of wool, that type of hair, so that wool can be prepared from it. Further, animals that yield wool. Several breeds of sheep are found in different parts of our country. However, the fleece of sheep is not the only source of wool, though wool commonly available in the market is sheep wool. Example figure 3.1. Figure 3.1. Here it is given. The sheep is shown. Wool is common in Tibet and Ladakh. Mohair is contained from Angora goats. Mohair is a type of wool which is obtained, and that is obtained from Angora goats. It is a very special kind of wool found in hilly regions such as Jammu and Kashmir. Wool is also obtained from goat hair. The underfur of Kashmiri goat is soft. It is woven into fine shawls called pashmina shawls. Pashmina shawls are very famous because they are so thin that they can even pass through your finger rings. आपके फिंगर में जो आप रिंग पहनते हो उसके अंदर से पूरी की पूरी शॉल पास हो सकती है. इतना वो पतला होता है, बट इन टर्न इट इज़ वेरी वार्म. तो आप उसको ओढ़ के बैठोगे तो आपको ठंड बिल्कुल नहीं लगेगी. सो दीज पश्मीना शॉल्स आर दैट इज़ वाई दे आर वेरी फेमस. The fur hair on the body of camels is also used as wool. Llama and alpaca found in South America also yield wool. These are the different breeds of sheep which are being used to yield wool. Right? Now from activity 3.2 we will do next time. We stop here today. Just write down all the underlined points and finish off this exercise, because I'll be sharing the photographs of the answers with it, so that complete textual exercises in the textbook itself and write the descriptive answers in your notebook. I will also share some pages of your workbook so that you can complete those into your workbook. We stop here today.